again, Flosstubers. Welcome back to my channel, Pages and Stitches. That's spelled pages, the number 3 stitches, both here and on Instagram. My name is Kelly and I'm stoked to bring you this video today. It's my final video of 2023. I'm bringing you my wrap up of the month of December, all of the stitching that I was able to accomplish right up to midnight, and I'm super excited about all of it. First and foremost, however, let me just say a Happy New Year to everybody. It is now officially 2024. Today is January 1st, 2024, first day of the year. And then, of course, a happy holidays to everybody who just came through the holiday season. I hope whatever you celebrate was wonderful. And then if you don't celebrate anything at all, then I hope you just had a good December, a good last little hurrah for the year 2023. Today's video is super exciting for me for more than one reason. Obviously, I'm excited about wrapping up this year, but today, being January 1st, is my Flosstube anniversary. It is my second anniversary. As of today, I have officially finished 2 full years here on Flosstube. So I'm super excited about that. And I just want to say a gigantic, humongous, massive thank you to everybody who's subscribed and commented and interacted with me, and then found me on Instagram and interacted with me there, and shared Stitchy Kindness and inspiration, and kept me company while I'm doing my stitching, and that I've, you know, met at a retreat or met on Zoom. I'm so thrilled to have shared this last year with you. I'm very excited to go into the next year and meet even more people and having even more meaningful moments and do even more stitching, of course. I will say that at the end of my first year, I had learned a lot. And then here at the end of my second year, I've learned even more, met even more people that were fabulous and wonderful. So yeah, just thank you so much for being a part of it, and hopefully continuing to be a part of my Flosstube journey. And then also, if you're new here and this is your first Flosstube video from me that you're watching, welcome. I'm super excited that you're here. Obviously, I put out cross-stitch videos, but as you can see behind me, I also am a quilter, and I do a Quilter's Corner video in addition to my Flosstube. So those videos usually go up within a few days of each other. So if you are at all curious about quilting, keep an eye out for that, and then hop over there and check out my quilting content. Okay, so I have some really exciting stuff to share with you today, but I also wanted to say right up at the front to be sure you stick around, because at the end of the video, I'm going to be doing not 1, not 2, but 3 giveaways for you, my Flosstube friends here on my channel. And then I will also be doing 3 giveaways on my Quilter's Corner videos as well. So if you are curious about that, go check that video out whenever it comes up. Okay, as per usual, we are going to start with my reading update. If you are unfamiliar, the Pages of Pages and Stitches is representative of my third passion, which is reading. So I like to, right at the beginning, just give a quick little wrap up of all the books I've read that month. So first 2 I'm going to insert pictures for. I continued with Samantha Whiskey's Carolina Reaper series, and I read the next 2 installments, which were Cannon and Sterling. And I believe there are 3 more in this series, 3 or 4 more, until I'm fully caught up. I think she's still going as far as I'm aware, but I don't know. We'll see when I get there. And then previously I had read The Deal by Elle Kennedy, which is the first book in her off-campus series. And this past month I read the next 2 in that series. The first one is The Mistake, and the next one is The Score. There's one more book that's about its own couple, and then there's a 5th book that's like an extended epilogue of each of the 4 stories. Okay, let's get into the cross stitch, shall we? Right? That's what you're here for. Okay, so the first thing I want to share with you is something super exciting. I've been working on it all year long. I have a finish to share with you. I literally finished it 15 minutes before midnight. I was on a Zoom last night with Carla from Carla Being Crafty and a couple of other really cool ladies. Jen the backcountry stitcher was on there, Lee, stick strings and other things was on there. And we always cut up and have a good time whenever we're on those Zooms. And so last night I was doing her New Year's Zoom and I finished this project. This one here, this is Magical Creatures Calendar by Clouds Factory. Right there. I will insert a picture here of where it was when you saw it last. This is stitched on a 16 count lilac Aida 2/1 full cross with the addition of some DMC light effects for an added sparkle. And it has been washed, it has been ironed, and here she is. Ta-da! All done. Oh, this is her in all of her glory. I'm super excited about it. So here is the last and final block, December, with the little Yeti. And I am so thrilled that I was able to stick with this all year long. You know, there were sections where, or times where I thought, ooh, I'm cutting it real close. And indeed, this last section I cut real close because I was working on it almost till midnight. But it's done. I did it. Yay! I'm so excited. I love it. So, I had wanted to do this because I really liked the idea of doing something that was kind of like a calendar that I could sort of track my year with, which was the original intention when I started this project. And I'm happy to say that obviously I was able to do that. So yeah, it's done. Hallelujah. Quick note, the DMC light effects, I will never use again. They were awful. They look great. The sparkle's really nice, especially in person. But working with them was a nightmare. So if you are thinking about adding, a metallic floss to one of your projects, do yourself a favor and don't use DMC light effects. It might be more affordable, it might be more available, but good God, it is awful to use. So, and you know, I didn't really mention that throughout the process of doing this stitching and giving you guys updates, kind of because I felt a little bit like if I declared how much I hated using it while I was still using it, then the process would just become even less enjoyable. So I just kept a tight lip. But I am telling you now, I'm not going to gatekeep it. It sucks. Don't use it. But it's done. Now, I also wanted to mention, over the past 2 years, I've done a couple of framing finishes that I've done myself for previous, you know, whips that I've finished. And recently I've had a couple of people request some sort of tutorial or like point of view video where people can see my process of how I go through framing on my own. And that's great. I'm more than happy to do that. So I think I'm going to take the opportunity to finish this in a framing sort of how-to. So I want to start with the process of choosing my custom frame online, how I order it, the website I go to normally, to how I would have included like a wash and iron part, but I just didn't even think about that until I done it. But once I get the frame, I'll show you my tools and the process that I use, and then hopefully that might help some of you kind of get through the process on your own, or even encourage you that it's not quite as difficult as it looks. So yeah, I'll release that as a Flosstube extra at some point in the future. Whenever I order the frame, it typically takes 3 to 4 weeks to get to me, so it's not like it's gonna happen, you know, soonish, but I'll definitely take you guys through that process from start to finish, just so you can see how it goes and how I do it, and then maybe you can do it too. The next whip I worked on was one I was so excited to bring out again. If you are unfamiliar with how I've been doing my whip rotation throughout this year, I have started at least one new project every month with a focus on a couple of projects that I had been looking to finish because they've been in my rotation for way too long. And then now that I'm going into 2024, I am going to have one focus project a month and then just rotate through the rest of my whips the rest of the time. The reason why I say that is because by doing it that way, there was a couple of whips that I didn't really get to touch this year while I was building up my whip supply, if you will. So this one is one of them. I just managed to pull it out before the year was over, and officially I've gotten my hands on every single whip I have. And this was the last one. And that's this one here. This is Mushroom Sampler by Cute Patterns by Maria on Etsy. And of course, I should have said this from the beginning. Everything that I mentioned that I will have linked down below. So whether it's a pattern or fabric or a website or whatever, I will have it all linked down below. And if you see something that's not linked, or if you have a question or whatever, my email and my Instagram are both included. You can reach out to me there, or you can drop a comment. I'd love it for you to do that too. Anyways, Cute Patterns by Maria, Mushroom Sampler. And I was so excited to bring this back out again because I missed it terribly. Something about mushrooms, you know, those of you that have been here a while know I love mushrooms. Something about mushrooms they just get me, you know? I love it. Okay, so here is a photo of where it was the last time you saw it. I just finished 4 little mushies. It is being stitched on a 16 count Brandywine Aida 2/1 full cross with all the called fors. And here is where it is now. So I got this big guy all finished and stitched in, and I just love it. Oh my gosh, the way the shading is rendered on these mushrooms is so good. I love it, love it, love it. There is quite a bit of back stitching, but it's that kind of back stitching that like sort of blends in and complements the piece instead of outlining necessarily, if that makes sense. So I don't know, they just look so stinking cute. I don't think I added these little guys, but I added these, and then maybe, yeah, this one, these little 2 little bubblies there. And I love it so much. Oh my God, they're so cute. So the next time you see it, I'll probably go this way, just so I have that like the top half done. Or I don't know, I might go down and around. I have no idea. We'll see when I get there. But it's so cute, you guys. I love it so much. Okie doke. The next 2 projects I'm going to show you were both new starts. They were my last new starts of the year 2023. So the first one is this one here. This is Winter Solstice by Joan Elliot. It is a black and, well, the photo looks black and gray. There's a little bit of gray. But this gray floss color is actually a metallic thread. It's a Kreinik. I did not buy the Kreinik. I switched it out for a Rainbow Gallery Petite Treasure Braid. But yeah, I started this one. I did actually wait and start it on the winter solstice, which was December 21st this year. So just before Christmas. And I am stitching this on a 36 count Perplexed and linen. It doesn't say there, but it's a linen from To Die For Fabrics. And again, I have to give a massive thank you to Laura from Stitching by the Shore for turning me onto this fabric dyer. She has, I will link her website down below. She also has an Etsy, but try to, if you can, try to order from the website so Etsy doesn't take a cut of her profits. She has a giant selection of colors. Her colors are super saturated. They range from, you know, very pale and subtle to very dark and bright. And she advertises that they are 100% color fast on her website. We'll find out if that's true when I wash these. There's a couple of other pieces I have that were done on her fabric, so we'll see. Laura, can you actually comment on the color fastness of her fabrics for people who might be curious? She says 100% color fast, and I have yet to see somebody complain that that's not true. So, you know, do with that what you will. Okay, so I did not do my work on the called for fabric, which is like an icy, you know, wintry blue. I went a slightly different route because I am like that. Here is my start here, and as you can see, this is a purple. It's called Perplexed, as I showed you on that card. I had decided to go more purple instead of blue because I wanted to keep, well, first of all, purple's my favorite color, but I did wanted to keep it like cool toned, with like a air of whimsy to it. In the pattern, there's like, you know, fairies and the like, so there is a sort of magical element to it. So to me, I wanted that to be better represented on a purple, I think. So I just leaned a slightly different direction. As you can see, I started here in the middle. There's a tree in the middle with a bunch of curly swirly vines and leaves and stuff. And there will be 2 fairies on either side. So here's just a bit of the trunk, and then I just started on some of the branches. It's not a massive start, but it was, I mean, it's enough to, you can clearly see there's something going on there. Also, I am not using DMC 310 6-stranded floss. I switched it for the pearl cotton. I don't remember off the top of my head what number the pearl cotton is. It's whatever one is the equivalent of 2 DMC strands of floss. But I kind of thought that that would be a little bit more cost efficient than ordering just like a bunch of skeins of 310 black, which I think it would have taken like, if I remember reading the pattern, I think it's like 7 or 8 skeins. Also, I would have ordered the Cone of Death, the big Cone of Death, but I couldn't find it in stock anywhere. So I said, forget it. And I opted for the pearl cotton instead. So yeah, there it is. Love it. She will go at the end of the rotation with my other new start, and we'll bring this one out again once we come back around to it. My last new start of the year is kind of a unique one because it is no longer available for purchase. I got it on clearance at Joann's. I kind of just thought they were getting rid of their stock. Turns out they just don't make it anymore. So, and that's this one here. This is called Friendship Teapots, and it is a kit by Designworks and is one of their older kits for sure. Like I said, it's no longer available. I think you can find it on like eBay or something, but I can tell it's one of their older ones because of a few reasons. Number one, the pattern is not gridded in a 10 by 10 grid. They're 14 by 14, which is super weird. I don't know why it's done that way. Designworks kits are no longer done that way, but this one is in a 14 by 14 grid. Also, the threads were grouped together, kind of like the old Dimensions kits. They were grouped together, and there was no real clear separation between very similar colors. So I had to sit there with like 18 lights on my floss and find the most subtle color variations between like white and gray or yellow and then a lighter yellow kind of color. It's all worked out. I have since gotten it sorted. Everything's fine, but I can tell that they've improved their business model and their product a lot since putting this one out. So if you do even find it on eBay, I don't know that I would recommend you get it. That being said, don't worry, I'll stitch it. You just live vicariously through me. So here is my start on Friendship Teapots. This is being stitched on an 18 count ivory Aida. Now I did sub the 18 count for what was in, excuse me, I said that backwards. I did sub what was in the kit, which was a 14 count ivory for this one, which is an 18 count. That's typically my preferred count if I'm doing 2/1 full cross. So I switched it out And we started right here in the middle. You can see that there's a teapot kind of starting to take shape in here. And so here is this like center flower. Here's the top of the teapot. The spout comes off this side when I get to it, and then the handle's over here on this side. So, and then of course, like my other Design Works kit, which was Woodland Castle, there's quite a bit of back stitching here, which doesn't intimidate me. I don't mind back stitching at all. I know a lot of people absolutely despise it, but I love it, especially since you can really see images come to life once you put it in, and as you're putting it in, things become, you know, clearer that weren't before. So all that to say, this has been started. It was my last start for the year 2023, and I'm very excited about it. And I will, of course, keep you updated on my experience working with an oddly gridded pattern. I don't know why they did that. I'm assuming maybe they thought, I'm willing to bet that the thinking behind it was because it's on a 14 count Aida. If they grid it 14 by 14, the grid is in inches instead of 10 by 10 blocks, right? That makes sense. But I'm not doing it on a 14 count Aida. I'm doing it on an 18 count. So whatever. I don't have my fabric gridded, so it doesn't really matter, right? All right, that was my stitching, my last and final stitching of the year 2023. I really enjoyed my 2023 year of stitching and here on Flosstube. I will be doing a whip parade and a end of year kind of review and wrap up that I'll probably end up filming later tonight. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But before we get there, I did want to share with you just a little bit of haul and Stitchy Kindness, just a teeny wee little bit. And I'll share with you my plans for this coming month, which I'll go into further detail about in my whip parade. And then we'll do I'll show you the giveaways, the 3 different giveaways that we're going to do. And then we'll wrap up. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is just this really precious Stitchy Kindness. My best friend Melissa, who watches my Flosstube, shout out Mel, is honestly one of the best gift givers I've ever come across. Every time she gives me a gift, she nails it every single time. And she's very thoughtful and considerate, and she just knows me obviously really well. So I love and adore you, Melissa, and I appreciate everything that you do and that you are, and I miss you all the time. Anyways, this year for Christmas, among other things, she gave me this. Look at this project, you guys. She put it in a hoop. It's got this decorative hoop finish with the felts on the back with the little blanket stitch. She did such a good job. But you guys look at it. First of all, it's a cat, right? So you can see cat here. It's a skeleton. If you are unaware, I'm a rad tech. I work in radiology. The skeleton is my bread and butter. It pays my bills, and I love the skeleton. I like bones. This is perfect. And then look, there's little mushies all over. There's flowers and little mushrooms. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. I love it so much. I love this little spider dude hanging off the tail. Every time I look at it, I notice something different. It's just so freaking cute. And this thing is covered in French knots. And bless her heart, she was like, I was in French knot hell. I never want to do French knots again, which I get it. Some people, they're cumbersome and they're difficult, and I totally understand. But she did such a fantastic job. They're all over everything. The mushrooms, the flowers, the spider. God, everything. They're so freaking cute. I just love this. So this is actually not the first cross stitch gift she's given me. She presented me with another. Let me grab it. So she actually presented me with another cross stitch, which is this one here. This is one of my favorite gifts I've ever received ever. It says Radiating Badass. She is also a rad tech. We went into the program together. We went through some of our prerequisites together, and yeah, so we're radiology ladies. And so she gave me this, and it lives on my bookshelf, which is one of my favorite things in my apartment. So this sits on it to sort of decorate. And then now this guy is going to join, and they're going to live probably not side by side, but still on the same bookshelf. You guys, this is so cute. I don't know what pattern this is. I think probably an Etsy pattern. I will ask her, and then when she gives me that answer, I will link it down below and put it in the description. Okay, the next 2 things I want to show you, I just have a couple of pieces of fabric and a pattern, and that's it. So I have purchased from Amy of Fiber Arts Amy, her fabric dyeing business, Oak Crown Studios. I've purchased from her a couple times, and I put in another order because I just love her stuff. So the first thing I ordered was this one here. This is an 18 count Aida called Baby Dragon, which is very like peachy. It's actually looking a little washed out on camera. It's a little bit more pink in person, but I wanted, like I said before, 18 count Aida is my comfort fabric when it comes to Aida, really when it comes to cross stitching. And I like to have a selection of it in my stash. So this one is cool because it's, you know, very subtle modeling. It leans neutral without actually being just, you know, like a boring neutral. So I was very excited to add this to my stash. And then this next one that I got, I'm super excited about. So she recently started offering opalescence in her fabric selection. So I got one, and I got this one here. This is coral, opalescent coral, and it's a 28 count linen, fat quarter. Look at that sparkle, you guys. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. Here, let me open it up. Ooh, my goodness, it's so pretty. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Amy, you did such a good job with this one. I want to buy all my opalescence from you because they're so pretty. And the reason why I bought this one, so I actually bought this one with a pattern in mind, and that is this one here, Ascent of the Moth Queen. As you can see, it's done on more of like a purple, and I considered doing something that was similar to the called for, but I have a lot of fabrics in my current rotation that are purple, so I thought, let's switch it up. So I'm thinking on this pink will look real nice. We'll see about these little bits of her dress here. I might end up converting that to like a purple instead so that they stand out. But I just thought, so this is actually done. The called for is not listed here. It's inside. It's stitched on an opalescent. So I thought this would be perfect, and I love this color, and so they are going together. I bought this one specifically to go with this one. So whenever whenever I finish my current Bella Filipina, or I'm due to start another fancy lady, this is the one. The last little bit of haul that I got is actually another Bella Filipina pattern, and this is Olivia the Forest Witch. So she is a stunner. Oh my God. The olivey green mossy color of her dress looks, I just love the way they render the highlights and shadows, because this looks to me like her dress is made of velvet. It's just so pretty. Her little copper sash legit looks metallic, like it's silky and that's entirely from highlights and shadows. Like neither of these are done in metallic floss as far as I'm aware, but the way they're rendered, this legit looks like silk and this legit looks like velvet. And I just I can't. I love everything about it. I love the owl. I love the gnarly trees. I love the beautiful woman here. I love the called for fabric. Just all of it is spectacular and amazing. As for when shall we be started? I don't know. At some point. She's definitely one of my favorite Bella Filipinas that I've ever purchased. So I'm super stoked to get going on her when the time's right. Just a little bit more. Before I get into plans and then the giveaways, there's one more thing I wanted to share with you. Previously in an older video, I had shown that I also dabble a little bit in diamond painting, and I had shown a fully finished diamond painting that I have hanging in my room, and I had asked if you guys even liked diamond painting content, if you would be interested in me sharing, you know, whenever I do get around to that hobby, if you would be interested in me sharing a little bit of that. And a few of you were like, yeah, we'd love to see more. Also, Rachel of Licking Floss just recently posted that she's kind of dabbling in diamond painting, so we chit-chatted a little bit about that. I just thought, you know, there's, you know, a little bit of interest out there in what I'm working on as far as diamond painting goes, so I wanted to show you the project that I'm working on currently. Now this is a big one, like it's all rolled up. It's from Diamond Art Club. If you are into diamond painting at all, you've probably heard of Diamond Art Club. They do have an app that I have on my phone, which shows you, you know, sales and new arrivals and yada, yada, yada. So if you're at all interested, or if you would like to be, you can download the app and check it out there. And this is the current project I'm working on. Ta-da! Sorry, I have to step back because it's big. Now, this one I got when they had low stock, and I got it, maybe like 3 years ago now, so I don't think it's available anywhere. The title of this piece is Jewel. Think Jewel, like the singer. And the artist who did the original drawing is Nini Thomas. There's her name there. So as you can see, I really don't have much left. I've been working on this for a hot minute, and I hadn't worked on it for like a year and a half because I folded up and stored it, and then I moved and I never brought it out again. But recently I did, and when I did, I did this little corner down here from here over. So mostly background here on the side. We've got the rest of her hands here. She's holding a mask. And then we've got some of her sleeve there in the back. So yeah, there's my diamond art painting. This one, I don't know if the sparkle is showing up a little bit. It's coming across kind of like flat in camera. In person, it's glittery as all get out. Yeah. Diamond Art Club. I have a couple more in my closet of Diamond Art Club diamond paintings that I have not started. But when I get this one done and finished and fully finished, and then I might just bust one of those out and start it. In which case, when that happens, I will share it all with you. Okay, one more quick thing to show you before we do the 3 giveaways, and then we'll wrap it up. The last thing I want to share with you is my plans for January. Now that I have finished my Magical Creatures calendar and I no longer have a sort of monthly tracker in terms of cross-stitching, I wanted to start a similar project. I had purchased this project a while ago with the same intention, and Carla, I found it. Last night we were talking on the Zoom about how I had lost it. Like I couldn't find it anywhere. I wasn't sure if I had it pre-kitted or if it was still in my stash. It turns out it was just really crammed down in my stash bucket, so I couldn't find it, but I found it. That is this project here. This is a kit by Olis, and it's called Forest Calendar. Right? Super cute. So we've got a bunch of cute little animals doing their little monthly things that are super cute and adorable. It is done with the wool acrylic thread. I know not all Olis kits come with the wool acrylic blended floss. A lot of them also use the Cotton Floss by Anchor, but this one is not one of them. I also know that some people absolutely despise the wool acrylic floss. I'm not one of those people. I think it's super easy to work with. The color's super saturated. It's really thick, so the coverage is really good. I haven't read the pattern very closely yet, but typically they do require that you do full and half crosses and then a couple of different counts of thread, and sometimes a blended thread. So not unlike a dimensions kit in terms of the type of stitching you're doing. I have yet to see them request up to 6 strands of floss, so there's that. The most I've seen are 3. So I'm assuming this will be a similar experience that I've had in the past with that floss. So this is actually supposed to be my New Year, New Start. I had kind of intended to start it last night after midnight when I finished my other one, but I went to bed at 1 and I was like, I'm out. So I didn't start it last night. I'll start it today. So I'm going to have this little block to work on here in January. All right, let's get to the good stuff, huh? If you have made it this far, or if you just skipped ahead to the giveaway section, all good. I'm very, very grateful for my experience and my friendships that I've made here on Flosstube, so I wanted to do these giveaways to show my appreciation. So this is my 2nd year Flosstube anniversary. I'm going into year 3. So because I'm going into my 3rd year on Flosstube, I'm doing 3 giveaways. The first one is going to be a big stack of fabric. So I typically do not stitch on 14 count Aida anymore. There's a couple of projects in my rotation that I do have it on 14 count Aida, but it didn't occur to me to switch them out from like kits and stuff until later on. So really I just don't stitch on it anymore. Not to say that there's anything wrong with it. I just prefer other things. But if you are a 14 count Aida stitcher, I got a whole bunch of it for you. So there's 8 full-sized pieces of fabric here that are roughly between a fat 1/8 and a fat 1/4. And then this tiny little piece here that was gifted to me at a cross stitch retreat. And it is all 14 count. There's a couple of different colors in here, but they're all mystery because there's no labels with them. So we've got like a gray and like a brown, a couple of pieces of like the natural sort of rustico. There's a white, a cream, this mystery blue, this other sort of natural kind of darker color, and then this little piece, which is kind of a pinky peach. So if you like Aida, if you're an Aida girl or guy, and 14 count is your jam, maybe, you know, you have some more trouble seeing like the smaller counts, definitely put your name in the hat for this one. To enter the giveaways, I'm just going to have you put a code word for each of the 3 giveaways in your comment. You can work it into a sentence. You can just leave the word as the comment. You can tack it onto the end of your comment. I don't care. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the random comment generator to pick the winner before my next update, which will be at the end of January. So then you have until the end of January to enter, because I won't draw names until right before I'm filming, which will be no sooner than January 31st. So we'll say up through, just to be safe, we'll say up through January 30th. You can enter to win. So the code word for this stack of fabric is going to be Aida, A-I-D-A. Very simple. I will insert it here. So that's giveaway number 1. Giveaway number 2 is this here. This is a kit that I purchased from Joann's. It is a Bob Ross cross stitch kit. It comes with embroidery hoop, floss, fabric, and instructions for 12 patterns. The 12 patterns are here on the back. So they're all very like precious, inspirational quotes from Bob. And then this one is his signature, his little portrait there. Of course, if you wanted to switch out the fabric and the floss and all that, you are more than welcome to. when I purchased it, I didn't realize it actually included all of that. I just was like, oh, Bob Ross, cool. I just bought it for the 12 patterns here on the back. So the things that they say are, you have to have dark in order to show light. Let your imagination go. We don't make mistakes, just happy accidents. If you learn from it, it's not a failure. Here, I'll show you. Let's get crazy. What the heck? I love that one. Isn't that fantastic? I knew you could do it. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. There's an artist hidden within every single one of us, and that one looks like a clock. Anything we don't like will turn into a happy little tree. If we all painted the same way, what a boring world it would be. Sometimes you learn more from mistakes than you do from masterpieces, and trees cover up a multitude of sins. I love this one a lot. I had originally planned on keeping this because, well, that's not true. I planned to use it as a giveaway, and then I, drooled over it a little bit and thought I was going to keep it. And then I changed my mind. I was like, no, this is going to be for a giveaway. That's why you bought it. I love Bob Ross. He's one of my favorite personalities, TV personalities. He's fantastic. So, I have not opened this. I couldn't tell you the quality of the fabric or the floss in there, but if that's all terrible, you still get 12 beautiful, inspirational little patterns. So, to enter to win this giveaway, just put the word Bob, B-O-B, little Bob. So yeah, that's giveaway number 2. And then giveaway number 3 was another one I debated keeping. Actually, I thought about purchasing 2, one for myself and then one to give away. But if I change my mind, I can always go online and purchase this one again. So this one is another book of patterns by our lovely Emma Cogden of Stitchrovia. So she has a website and an Etsy, and her stuff is super pretty. And this is 20 patterns, and they're all right here. And I love Emma's style. They're so pretty. Stitchrovia. I have a handful of Stitchrovia patterns that are in my my favorites on Etsy that I just haven't bit the bullet on in terms of purchasing. I know that there was a book recently that went out by her that was like nature themed projects, and this is more, like similar to the Bob Ross one, just like very inspirational and heartwarming and cheery and super cute. And there's 20 of them. The 20 patterns. That's wild. Looking at the artwork, it's nice and bright, very big. The symbols and the chart, super easy to read. So, if you want to receive this book, The Cross Stitch for the Soul by Emma Cogden, the word you'll enter in the comments is just Emma, her name, just like with Bob. This one will do Emma, E-M-M-A. So, as with any giveaway, do not put the word giveaway, win, prize, any sort of like trigger words that will trigger a bot or a troll to enter. I would prefer that this be a real person. And then, of course, I do need you to be 18 so that I can have your mailing address to send these to you. Also, and this does bum me out a little bit, I do need you to be within the United States, which I know stinks a whole bunch, but the shipping cost internationally is outrageous. It's a minimum of roughly like $40 just to ship something. So unfortunately, that is an extravagant cost to ship something internationally. I'll do some digital giveaways with like gift cards and patterns digitally in the future so that you guys can be included as well. Because it does bum me out to say that, you know, only U.S. citizens can, or U.S. residents, excuse me, can participate. Because I know there are some of you internationally who do watch, and I so appreciate your patronage. So I'll be sure to include you guys in the future. All right, that's it. That was everything. That was all my stitching for December. And once again, you'll have until January 30th, heck, till the morning of January 31st, to enter the giveaways. So be sure you come back at the end of January to see if you've won. And of course, if you have any questions at all about anything I mentioned, any thoughts or suggestions, or if you just want to say hi, feel free to drop a comment or reach out to me on Instagram. One more time, thank you all so much for being here and for continuing to partake in this crazy thing we all call Flosstube with me. I'm very grateful for each of you. Thank you so much. And that's it. That's everything. I will see you guys again at the end